Hey guys, welcome to Digimon 37. I'm going to go over my Fanglong deck profile, or my Devas profile. Yes, Devas, not Devas. First, we're going to start with 4 Mother D Reapers as our eggs. Yeah, after tonight, we're cutting 3 of them. We're only going to play 1. I don't see why we would play more than 1. We don't need to see more than 1. I don't care if it gets killed. I don't care if they raid over it. Who cares? Once we see Analog Youth, we don't need this on the field anymore. Sure, it's nice using Alliance with Antilamon and being able to swing for big damage, but it's just not worth the risk. Because if you have an Analog Youth on the board and they manage to kill one of your 4 Sovereigns and they force you to hatch and then you just can't do anything in the raising area the next turn, it's just objectively bad. So stop playing multiples of these. Stop. Next, we're playing 4 Fanglongmon. She's like the boss monster of the deck. The proxies, I had to give back the actual copies. It's a good card. I mean, honestly, it's your boss monster. There were some turns, I think you'll see in some of the gameplay, where I was able to trigger his when attacking and everything like multiple times. Like once your trash is filled up, this card is just, it's really hard to deal with. Super good card. I can understand why this deck is doing well on like online tournaments where people are expecting Numamon, because the Fanglong just handles that deck pretty much by itself because they just can't out it. And then also these cards. These are honestly probably the best cards in the deck are your level 6 ace cards. Zulongmon's really good here because, again, it handles Numamon by itself. It handles, like, I guess, Yellow Vaccine, too, if they like play Rapid Mons or Bunnies or something like that. Zulongmon just bounces their stuff before they can Digivolve into their Mega Gargomon. So, really good card. Next, we're playing 3... I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. You know what it is. Yeah, 3 Turtles. Also a very good card. Probably definitely my second favorite because the suspend effect is really good. Just helps you stall for another turn. So, very good card. And they don't unsuspend. So, he's kind of like I'll just say a worse Mega Gargomon, a way worse version, but still. Next, we're playing 2. Again, I'm not going to try and pronounce this. Chicken card. So we're playing 2 of these. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, all of these have on deletions as well. Deletes your highest level, a suspended Digimon, which is super bad.
And then highest DP.
And then highest DP, so all those effects are really good. This card can, if you can get into it early enough, you can just put on a lot of quick damage, especially if you have a red inheritable that gives it an extra security attack +1. So, very good card. You need to play all these cards. I never hard Digivolved into Fanglong tonight, but I could have. It just never came up. And then we don't play Baihumon because that card's objectively super bad. We play 2 Mega Gargomons because this card is just 10 times better than that card. Yes, it's not a 4 Sovereign. It's not a Deva card. Boo-hoo. This card is so good. If you can play this card in a green or a black deck, you play it. I don't want to hear anything in the comments. Next, we're playing, objectively, probably the next best card in the entire deck, 3 Antilamons. It has Recovery and has Alliance. This, early on, if you see this, can put so much pressure on your opponent because you're eventually you're swinging for essentially free, unless, of course, you hit like a bomb in their security, for 2 checks. For big damage, because you're never hard playing this one. This one always gets set in the breeding area. If you're hard playing this for 8 and you get no value out of it, you're a bad player. So this one is always set in the breeding area. Next, we're playing 3 of these. Oh, and second best part, it recovers. You get recovery off of this if you're at 3 or less security. So again, it can help you extend games. So good. Next, we're playing 3 cat. Yeah, 3 cats. Blocker, inheritable blocker, just objectively good. These all have the exact same effect on play draw 1. I'm not going to say that for all of them. They all do this except for the Antilamon. Okay? So, the biggest thing with this deck is you're always going to be on playing these things for the full cost of 7. And this deck, just like Royal Knights, loses to little baby level 3s. So, because you can't play anything in your breeding area and you can't use your option card to play your Fanglong. So, I don't know, this one felt good. It's just blocker. It just helps. So, next we're playing 3 chickens, or 3 roosters. Decoy never came up because it's a bad effect, but again, you know, you get your blocker inheritable, so that's it. That's all. Again, that's the only reason why we're playing it. Blocker inheritable. Next, we're playing 3 Indramons. That one I can pronounce. Again, on play, draw 1. They all say that. On deletion, draw 1. And then security attack +1. That's the only reason why we're playing this. Security attack +1. On deletion, draw 1. You don't draw like a whole lot with this deck. And even when you do, you're paying 7 memory for it, which sometimes can feel super bad. Oh, I got these out of order. Last 2, we're playing monkeys again. This one is opponent's turn. Their 2-cost Tamers can't suspend. Woo!
So random.
Again, blocker. Yeah, this is really weird and random. So I mean, I guess sometimes it can come up against like Finry if they have analog youth.
The mirror.
Yeah, the mirror. I guess. Again, just blocker. Just a really good effect. And we have to play a bunch of different names, so that's why we're playing a couple different versions. This one is one of our answers for the level 3s that somehow kill entire decks. Security attack +1 on deletion, minus 5,000, or delete something with 5,000 DP. Yay. One of Ram guy on deletion. If your opponent has a tamer, gain 1 memory. Okay, random. All the green ones. Who cares about their effects? They all do random, useless things. I'm not even gonna lie. I put this in this deck. I did not see it once tonight. I'm not even gonna try and tell you what this card does. I don't care, because to me it was a dead card all night. I never saw it. Never saw it, not once. So whatever. Your turn. When your opponents when you use an option card with 1 or less memory, gain a memory. Okay, cool. Again, all turns. When an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, draw 1 card. Good, right? I would probably bump this up more just because of that. But again, it comes up sometimes. The piercing is okay. Again, also never came up tonight, I don't think. But okay, they're okay. Next, we're going into the options. That's all our Digimon. We're playing 4 of the Loyalty, Deeper Than the Sea. Okay, cool name. If you're going first and you see this in your opening hand, you're kind of wanting to have to keep that hand, because you can hatch the Mother D Reaper and then play this for 1, and that will be one of the only turns in the entire match where you are not giving your opponent that much memory. There's not many times where you're going to be giving them that little memory. Just a really good searcher. You get to choose to put your cards on the top or the bottom, or you can even tuck them too, which I can't remember if that ever came up tonight. I don't think I tucked anything. Most of the time I was wanting to add stuff, so really good card. This is also completely shut down by level 3s. Imagine playing a 12-cost option, which you can reduce, and then you just don't get to play your boss monster because they have a level 3 Digimon on the board.
Pillowmon. Yeah,
Pillowmon. So, really good card. It allows you to play your boss monster for effectively free, and they were smart to make Finglon an on-play as well. And then you can activate his on-play effect, return a bunch of cards to blow up boards. So again, this is why this deck is doing so well. I honestly couldn't see this deck doing well at like random locals or like random events, unless you're just fully expecting like Numamon board or Numamon decks. I couldn't see this doing that well against anything else, because this answers just wide boards. Because you just give your opponent too much memory, and most decks can just love that. 2 Heaven's Judgment came up once tonight, and I misplayed with it because I'm bad. I never actually hard played this from my hand. It just never came up because, again, I'd rather just play Digimon and draw or play Finglong. So, best card in the entire deck. There is literally hands where I kept because I had Ginny in my hand. It's such a good card in this deck that I want to play more, because being able to just suspend it and then raise your level 5 and then ace into it for free is really cool. I think there's one game against Yellow Vaccine which again, I think is the only time this card came up was that round, and I brutally 2-0'd him. I saw this in my opening hand and just played it, and then he had no idea what it did. Had to read it, and then next turn I follow up by playing I play a Deva and then put 1 in the reading. He attacks. I do the whole thing, and it was just... It's so stupid. It's such a random card. I think this card will become a lot better once we get a couple more ace cards, especially like level 6s, like decent strong ones. So this is 7s. Yeah, and the best part is it's on play its search as a Yume, so you don't have to activate it. I didn't. And then we're playing 4 analog youths. Just helps fuel our trash for our option card and our Fanglongmon. Really good card, but again, if they manage to kill your ace and you have a source underneath it, and they kill this, you want to activate this, like say you want to steal turn or something, it forces you to hatch, which means you have to hatch another Mother D Reaper unless you have something in raising, and you just don't want to do that. So again, cut this card to 1. So that's Devas, guys. It's an alright deck. I don't think it's worth the hype though. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys.